Thank you to the Sea of Stars team for sponsoring this video. Make sure you check out the link in the description below for more information on Sea of Stars and where to get it. All right, guys, we got to talk about Sea of Stars once again because it got even better in the last number of years. The last time that I played this game, I was blown away by the story, the characters, the combat, the graphics, the music. There were so many good things about this game, but somehow they went back, retooled, revitalized, added a bunch of new content in, completely rehauled multiple aspects of the game, and I am absolutely loving what I'm seeing here from this. Now, for those who don't know, Sea of Stars is a really cool independent RPG that kind of tries to emulate the classic style of games from yesteryear, the Secret of Manas, the Chrono Triggers, Breath of Fire. It has all of that flair, but then it also wraps it up in its own personal style, and that's what I love the most about it. It reminded me of playing the games like I did back when I was a kid. Now, the story setup, not going to go too much into this just for spoiler sense, but you play as Valerie and Zale. These are Solis warriors, powerful beings who can control the Eclipse magic. The power is special because it can only be used to harm the Dwellers, monsters created by an all-powerful alchemist named the Fleshmancer. Now, there's far more to it than there, and you go on a journey to defeat that, but there's so many other things that happen in between when it comes to different characters you meet, twists and turns, the party members, fantastic writing. I really love the dialogue with the story and exactly how it kind of takes you through these different magical areas. But the one thing that I do know is that I was fully satisfied with the amount of endings and possible things that can happen within the story of the game. Now, since I last played it a couple of years ago, there has been so many updates to this. They have streamlined the game from the beginning, which was one of the issues that I originally had. It just took a while to really get started up. That's been completely streamlined with more gameplay elements added in. And another thing, which once again reminds me of the old school Secret of Mana, 3-player local co-op, which is a lot of fun if you can get someone to play with you. Unfortunately, my wife did not want to play too much of Sea of Stars with me, but if you can get 3 people to play, old school brothers and sisters, friends, whatever the case is, it's really a ton of fun to play this type of RPG with your buddies. Now, I think it would be pretty cool if we can get a Nintendo Switch 2 update in the future with Game Share. That would be super nice. It's not included on this. This is still just Switch 1. It's still Xbox, PlayStation, and it's into PC. But maybe in the future, we do get a Game Share update for the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, back in November of 2024, they did roll out this huge update called Dawn of the Equinox, which is applying a lot of the stuff that I talked about when it comes to the updates, but it introduced some of the biggest updates that I've been able to experience now with the combat system, pretty much called Combat 2.0. So many changes to this that I really enjoy overall. What's new is some of the mystery locks, which was a core mechanic at the beginning of the game, but this update actually brings a new gameplay loop around that, revealing different ways to break the spells of enemies each time a new type is encountered in battle. So it makes the battles far more dynamic and a bit more, I would say, free-flowing. I had a lot more fun playing through with the battles this time because of what they've done with some of these updates in Combat 2.0. They also added the reveal function, which added to some of the playable cast special skills. So with the updates to the Combat 2.0, this reveal function, it just gives it a better touch overall and rounds out the character's abilities in terms of what they can do in the game. But another thing that I really like that was added in since I last played was the sticky combo points. Now, these sticky combo points now remain after the battle, which they were there, but they remain after the battle, offering different types of ways to start up a battle. So you don't have to worry about it resetting back to where certain abilities will be able to go from the beginning. So you can just test out different types of ways to enact a ton of damage or not, or do different things. It just gives you more options for combat, and it just makes it more fun overall because it does give you that jump on the different types of damage to reveal the enemy locks. Now, there's also been a lot of comprehensive balancing done to the game as well, and it reflects pretty much everything that people had some issues with, myself included, other people, when it comes to feedback as well. So it's going to be a much smoother experience from what I've been playing. Absolutely a lot better than what it was before. and you have the 3 different difficulty options, which once again was an issue originally, not having some of those difficulty options, but now those are available starting from the beginning of the game. And this basically uses the game's relic system that's in there. There's also been other quality of life adjustments added in and difficulty adjustments to the game. So they've pretty much revamped everything here as well. And for me, the best thing about Sea of Stars as I was playing through again was definitely the gameplay. Like, the gameplay combined with the old school style, it just reminds me, like I said, of yesterday. It reminds me of those old school RPGs. It kind of has like a Chrono Trigger style. It's turn-based, but it's also kind of like active turn-based at times. Even get a little bit of Paper Mario action in there to where you're going to be actively doing defense and also offense and pressing context sensitive buttons in order to get that done. But there's a variety of different ways depending on what attacks that you do that actually happens. And that's probably the best thing, to me at least, about the game, is exactly how each battle feels to kind of go through and play. Certain times you're going to want to play certain strategies overall depending on what type of enemy you're fighting. So with this new update, it brings a lot more variety to the type of gameplay that you can do. So I really enjoyed that with all of the other balancing updates to that. Now, the boss fights in the game are just as ferocious as they can be. I think originally it might have been a little bit easy on some of it, depending on how you actually built out your character and what you kind of did in the game. But I think now at this point, with the updates here, with being able to kind of adjust the balancing in terms of difficulty from the main campaign, at least, I think it creates a more dynamic type of boss fights and battles that can really give you a challenge at times, depending on what you actually do in the game. But I actually really enjoyed the boss fights. This game doesn't really have like the grinding per se to where you can sit there and level up and boost up all the way to a certain point. So you really have to be smart in terms of how you engage each battle, and especially with the boss fights. Once again, don't want to spoil anything with them, but some of the best boss fights in this game, especially some of the secret or special ones, those ones are going to keep you really guessing on exactly how and keep you tense when it comes down to it. I had a lot of fun. Even in the original demo of the game, there was a really cool boss fight in there as well that I had a ton of fun playing through, but the main game has a lot more. So it's really enjoyable overall. But let's also talk about the music. The music in the game is awesome. If you like a little bit of that JRPG style, this is your musical style. I really like the riffs and hymns. The battle theme is catchy. That's probably the most important thing to me in an RPG, is the battle theme. That's got to be good because you're going to be hearing that quite a bit, and you don't want that to get repetitive or boring. And I'm happy to report, once again, it's just as good as it's ever been when it comes to the various different battle themes, depending on where you are, boss themes, and other types of music in the game. If you're in certain towns or anything, it was just a joy to listen to overall. So A+ when it comes to the music. Graphics, once again, is just the classic old school. I mean, it's the 16-bit style from the Super Nintendo, but obviously cleaner, looks better because on modern systems. But what I love about it the most, to me, it just kind of shows you how the artists in the old school style had to really layer and draw things a certain way to perceive the depth or to perceive the type of scale that you can do somewhat easily in a 3D game, but you have to be able to do it in a 16-bit style of game, kind of 2D, and it's just done brilliantly on here. I can't state how cool it was kind of going back to this game and seeing the different types of environments and how they were drawn and play out and how the levels kind of intertwine. It's just super cool, and one of the things to me that just adds to the overall scope and awesomeness of the game. The locations and the graphics just kind of meld together, and it's just a great blend overall. Now, there is some extra content here too, free DLC called Thrones of the Watchmaker, and essentially what this is, once again, no spoilers, it's where the Solis warriors, Valerie and Zale, have to investigate the curse of the carnival as you kind of battle your way through this mysterious clock world of Horloge. And the Solis warriors have to explore this world that seems to be inside of this miniature clock. And in this world, Valerie and Zale maximize their abilities to the fullest to kind of understand the inner workings of the clock and their powers. Now, it's going to give you about 8 to 10 hours of extra gameplay and expands upon an unresolved thing from the main campaign when it comes to the story. So going back to Sea of Stars, I've just had a ton of fun, and it just kind of reminded me why I even started playing games in the first place. The NES era was where I really started playing Atari and NES, but the 16-bit era is where I truly developed my passion overall for RPGs. Games like Chrono Trigger, games like Secret of Mana, Breath of Fire, these type of games had a huge impact on me. And Sea of Stars is kind of the modern age of trying to do all of the great stuff that the previous games did, but adding in, once again, a modern touch to it. So if you like old school 16-bit RPGs with some new touches here and there, make sure you check out Sea of Stars. It's on pretty much every single platform, and you can once again check out the link in the description to see more information on where you can get Sea of Stars. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out more of my videos on Sea of Stars and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.